What's up, believers? Welcome to Make Us Believe, a wrestling podcast by fans for fans. I am one of your hosts, Michael,
And I'm John.
and today we are coming at you after a little bit of a leave of absence. Had some stuff going on, but no worries, we are back. You could not keep us down. And we're back right in time for Survivor Series. John, how have you been enjoying the build?
So Survivor Series is always my least favorite of the major four pay-per-views. I would
Same.
say it's been okay. Like I thought it was a pretty impactful Raw. I have some thoughts leading into it. But overall, I mean it's been fine. For as far as Survivor Series goes, I would prefer them sticking with War Games, which I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent, I guess, but I like war games overall. It's getting a little bit played out to me at this point. I liked when
Hmm.
NXT was doing it back in the black and gold era. That was impactful. It was fresh because, it really hadn't been utilized since WCW. Now I think it's going to become the regular Survivor Series thing. And again, it's going to diminish how cool it is to me, but overall, it's a really fun match. They never disappoint. And I would always take this over the brand versus brand 5v5. That's just the most pointless match ever, and it's kind of the marquee match of Survivor Series up until they started reincorporating War Games. It's the same thing every year. Uh, you know, Closer to Survivor Series, one brand will invade another, the other brand will retaliate on their show, and then, there's really no, I guess, aftermath once the match is over. It's just really kind of pointless. So, War Games is cool. It's fun. It is what it is. It's nothing super special, but it's fun enough, I guess.
No, I super agree with that. I am also not a huge fan of Survivor Series just as a concept.
Mhm.
Um, Out of the big four, it's also my least favorite. Yeah, in the traditional match where even when it was, before the brand splits and stuff like
Mhm.
that, where it was just a 5v5 tag match, like elimination tag, it was just weird. The ring felt bloated. It just didn't it was kind of boring, It was like it just wasn't entertaining for the most
Yeah.
part. And then, like you said, it got real stale with how they were handling their, this brand invades that brand. There's a retaliation, tit for tat, back and forth, leading up to the actual pay per
Mhm.
view itself or PLE. So I'm here for War Games as a replacement for the traditional Survivor Series format, 100%. I do agree that it can feel like it's just played out enough, kind of like how Hell in a Cell was when it got its own pay-per-view or, Money in the Bank, kind of
Yep.
thing.
I like
So
Money in the Bank, I will say that, but I agree with you with Hell in a Cell.
I I like I think I like Money in the Bank um because of what it means rather than the
Mhm.
match itself more so. Because, like at this point, we're not really getting any new ladder spots. Somebody's going off and they're gonna hang themselves up on the ropes, in the dangly bits. Somebody's
Mhm.
going through a ladder now that they learned that you could saw a ladder in some parts and turn it into a table.
Yep.
So somebody's going into the ladder, somebody's going into a ladder in the corner, somebody's getting smashed on a ladder that's just in the ring, somebody's getting hit with one over the head, someone's probably putting it on their head and doing an airplane spin with it. Like we've hit all the spots. They're just kind of this is just what's going to happen from now on, I think. But
Yeah.
the implications of winning that match are what's exciting for me in regard to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I
So
loved it. I know we're digressing because this isn't even the pay-per-view
yeah,
coming up. But I
for
do
sure.
love like it was awesome at WrestleMania. I do think it had gotten big enough to be its own pay-per-view. I love that it's got immediate implications. You could cash it in that night because usually one of the title matches, at least one of them, are right afterward. But I get what you're saying. All of these. I guess gimmicky matches can get a little excessive. So I'm with you.
Yeah, for sure. So that being said, I feel like War Games is kind of falling into that realm,
Hmm.
but if we're gonna follow it into that realm kind of thing, like where Survivor Series is gonna have its gimmick, and it just is, I would rather the gimmick be War Games than the traditional Survivor Series. The War Games
100%.
format is just more fun and more entertaining. And it's not about, violence or any of that other stuff. It's just a more entertaining match with more options of things to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I do agree that I do feel like it's being played out a little, but I mean, if this is what we get for Survivor Series, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. I guess it's still cool. I guess it's just me thinking like, it used to feel special, but it doesn't feel special anymore, but it is still a cool match. So I agree with you pretty much 100% on all that.
Yeah. The build has been not as exciting as I was expecting, though. Like you would think, this is one of the big four, right?
Yep.
Why do you wait until 2 weeks out to start the build
I
for the
swear
major
it's
matches?
every year. Every year they do this.
And we called this like two
Yeah.
months ago or something, like
Yeah.
when we were doing we were like, hey, look, guys, here's some predictions that would be amazing and would make people absolutely lose it. Um, nope. I know they're not listening. We understand that. We don't have delusions of grandeur here and make us believe. But if the fans are able to sit here and come up with match cards that are like that far out, as we were predicting,
Hmm.
and have them be awesome and be able, that far out, be able to have us, a steady build that ramps up leading into the PLE. Why then are the people who are getting paid good money for this job not able to see anything other than, oh crap, it's 2 weeks. Let's throw some teams randomly together.
And it's not like they've been doing any like real special storylines here, like and don't get me wrong, I still am enjoying the product. I'm not trying to crap on it, but we're at a little bit of a lull still, like there's highs and lows, that's wrestling. It's always going to be wrestling and you kind of need it. We're kind of in a lower point right now where they're not really doing anything that crazy. Like, sit down, let's figure this out. This is a major pay-per-view. Let's do something cool. Now, of course, it hasn't happened yet. We might see something crazy. And I thought Raw was pretty good. But again, like it's so close at this point. It seems a little thrown together. How do you feel about your main man Brock coming back? I know you were excited about that.
Son of a bitch. No, okay, so when his music hit, it was
Did you pop?
no, I a little, but not in like the way that I was super excited. It was more of a but why question, like other than the fact of he's just there to cause chaos.
But that is
There's
Brock, my
no
man. That's Brock. Brock is chaos.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's like other than that aspect of it, there's literally no reason for him to come out there. I
I
mean,
would.
yeah, he had bad blood. He has bad blood with CM Punk and Cena, and that's it. Like like that's kind of it. So you can kind of see that in there, but realistically, this is their fight with the Vision. It didn't include Brock at all. Brock's not part of the Vision. Brock's not gonna be part of the Vision. Like, it. You look at it, and it just didn't make a lot of sense, other than the fact of like, hey, we want to throw Brock out there. And then once you throw Brock out there, who do you have that can stand up against Brock if you don't have Cena, because Cena's already committed to the team, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you can have Cena against Brock in that aspect because he's already spoken for, quote unquote. You have to throw Reigns at him. You have to throw Roman in there. So it it ended up being like uh one of those but why though situations, and then the ultimate like, oh well, here he comes because he has to. That wasn't so surprising at that point. I'm glad to see it happen. It'll be cool to have those two headliners in there and basically have like a Titan match while everybody else is going in there. But my concern is that the match is going to take that aspect of the match is going to take over the rest of it. That is just basically going to be a giant cage with two wrestling rings for Brock and Roman rather than the Vision ending their feud with, John Cena and CM Punk and everybody. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm worried
Okay.
about. That's all. Um, that it's going to overshadow just because of the star power that is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, especially as they're coming in as quote unquote free agents. But um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
no, look,
see. We'll see how it
all
is.
all fair points, and I'll say this. A lot of the points you were making, I would agree with if it were anybody else. Brock is a very unique character at this point of his career because he's like the only one who can get away with this. And in my opinion, he does get away with it and he gets away with it well. When Brock's music hit, your boy did pop. I was excited. Involuntarily, I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, Brock." That's what I hear. That's what I feel every time his music hits. Whether like it's out of nowhere or even that Survivor Series when his music hits, that's going to be my reaction because it just it just hits a certain way to me, and I think a lot of fans. I think you're either on my side or your side. There's really no in between. You either don't want to see Brock, you're sick of it, you're over it. Stuff outside of the ring you're disgusted with. Totally understandable. But for me, as just a wrestling fan, uh, I don't know. Like, it just he gets away with stuff that other people can't get away with, and I'm okay with Brock being pure chaos. He's not going to be a full timer. He's going to come in. He's going to cause some chaos. It's going to die down because he's going to leave right afterward, but it's going to be magic in that moment. And I do still think he's got the look to where he's a savage looking man, like Brock Lesnar is somebody who, if I cross paths with him, I would feel intimidated and scared for no other reason than he's just a big son of a bitch, man. Like that guy's huge. And
He is.
yeah, and I will say, it's a good way to bring Roman back. Roman has been totally stagnant lately. And I don't know if it was by design or not, but he has lost all of his momentum after a historic title run. He's just been
I
totally, I mean, like not totally absent, but mostly absent since then. He's missed most of the shows. He doesn't have any storylines. He'll pop up here and there. Maybe he'll talk to Jay. But this is a great opportunity for them to put him back in the mix, put him back in a storyline. Now, you have to follow through with that. Brock almost certainly will be gone after this. But if Roman, he's still got a career to go. And I'm not saying like he's a young buck or anything, but he still has a ways to go. I don't think Roman's retiring anytime soon. So, you let the stories shift, you took Roman out of it. And like I said, it could have been by design, it could have just been by, happenstance, but this is the way you get him back in. This is, a win over Brock's a big deal. It's always going to be a big deal, especially because he just beat John Cena on his farewell tour, which nobody really understands. But, you let Roman go over Brock now, Roman's back. And then you could start reincorporating him into the story. So as far as why, that's the best why I could spin out of it. And I think that it will be a fun match, just two dudes, slapping man meat. And I think it'll be fun. Yeah, that's the best I got there. It was my second favorite part of this build and the Raw show.
I can see that, and I'm
Yeah.
not. Now, don't get me wrong, anyone out there. It's not that I'm not a fan. Legal, again, going back to the
You're
whole
not a
thing of like
fan. You're not fooling
legal
any of these
things.
believers. The
Le
believers don't believe you, Diaz. You are not a
they
fan.
believe me. They believe me. So the Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar, right? And he will always be Brock Lesnar. Like he's one of those people. It's like John Cena, right? It's like you can't
Mhm.
quantify who he is or why he is except for using his name.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
John Cena is John Cena. It just though
Yeah.
it's like the Undertaker is the Undertaker. You can't explain why other than the name recognition alone should be enough. I respect that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
respect what Brock has done for the industry. and everything coming in. My big bit is I'm not a huge fan of part-timers. And the it makes sense right now with John Cena's farewell tour. We're all getting behind John Cena because we know Cena's on the way out, you know? It's not if they were parading Cena around and he wasn't farewell touring right now, it was just, oh, look, we brought John Cena back for a 1 year contract deal or something. He would not be getting the hype that he was right now because they would not be behind John Cena. They'll be like, oh, look, it's John Cena, Mr. Superman, Five Moves of Doom, and he's gonna take titles or whatever. That's literally the only reason that he's here for.
I disagree
But
though. I think that
but you
people would be hyped for and I wouldn't like it, but I think most people would love seeing John Cena just because he's John Cena for the same reason.
I think it would just get stale. It would get more stale, like leaning into like to where we are at this point in the calendar, where we're like his literal like last 2 or 3 matches
Mhm.
away. Like I think at this point people would have turned on him because they would have just gotten stale of it. They don't know when the end is in sight. With Brock, we
Yeah,
don't know when the end is in sight. We know that John Cena has his farewell tour and his days are numbered. We know Brock is part-time, but we don't know what they're gonna do with him in that part-time. And in that bit, it could be like, hey, let's throw the belt back on Brock for reasons unknown because
yeah, which
why?
they've been known to
You
do.
know, they have. And it's like it's not even other than making him like a final boss figure, like what's the point of taking the belt away from somebody who's there day in, day out and earning it and putting it on a part-timer who's literally not even going to show up to Raw, kind of thing,
Yeah.
let alone wrestle and defend it. So that's my biggest problem. R- That being said, Brock has absolutely earned his right to be the status where he's at. He can show up and just be chaos. He can choose his schedule. He can have his limited number of days that he shows up and like does his matches and everything like that. He has absolutely earned that right. He busted his ass back in the day when he first got in. He earned all of his title shots and everything. He earned everything that he has going for him. Don't get me wrong on that,
Yeah.
but it's literally just more so the part-timer thing. I look at the same thing. It was like, why do you have Rey Mysterio out there in matches other than the fact to have Rey Mysterio out there? Like he doesn't need a win. He's a Hall of Famer. He's
Yeah.
legitimately a Hall of Famer. Dude does not need to be in the ring anymore,
I definitely
you
agree with you
know?
on Ray. I don't need to see Ray much at all anymore unless you're gonna I mean really I'm okay. I'm okay if Ray never shows up again at this point.
And that's not against Ray. That's
No,
nothing
no,
I
no.
have against Ray. That's just saying it's like, look, man, he
I'm
hit the
good.
pinnacle. He's
Yeah.
literally like, he's a multi-time world champion. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's made it. Ray has nothing else to prove. Literally
Yeah.
nothing else to prove. So, you know, why do you need him in there? So I'm kind of in that camp a little bit with Brock. I'm excited to see him because he just does weird Brock shit when he's there, but also not in the same aspect because he's taking a spot that could have been for somebody else. Yeah, I guess is kind of
Yeah.
how I see it.
I get what you're
And,
saying. But like don't get me wrong. I would prefer if Brock took a more formal full-time role. Um but I'm okay like because like I said, again, we're if we weren't at a lull, I might agree with you a little bit more. But a lull is a great time for someone to be able to step up. If nobody's
yeah,
stepping up, that's a good time to bring Brock back. If if nobody's making the move, like it's kind of characters getting stale, oh, throw Brock in there. He'll cause some excitement. It'll spike it for a minute, and then hopefully we can get things going. Mostly though, I do understand what you're saying. Um, yeah, I mean it kind of is what it is. If and again, it's Survivor Series season, so anything that you want to do to make it a little more interesting, I'm game. Um, and like I said, if he puts Roman over, even better. But switching back to John Cena a little bit, who do you think's gonna take this tournament? Who do you want to see take this tournament?
honestly, I want to see Cena's team take it.
No, no, no. Sorry, sorry,
Like,
sorry. I meant for the
oh,
tournament, like to face John Cena.
the
I'm
tournament,
going. Yeah.
oh, because we don't even have all the members in there yet.
I'm
Um,
not 100. So this is like, and I've watched every episode. I'm still a little bit unsure who's in this damn tournament, to be
yeah, they
honest
they
with you.
don't know. They haven't announced it. They haven't
Yeah,
announced it, and we still have like half the battlefield that hasn't been introduced. We've only
yeah,
had like I think like um the first round's like 8 matches, and I think we've only had 5 of them, four or
yeah,
five of them. So
yeah.
we still have no idea who's all in it. It's not solo, I will tell you that much. I don't want
No,
solo to take that. Um,
no. I was actually really hoping. I knew they weren't going to, but I was really hoping they'd put Ziggs over him, man. I am a mark for
dude,
Dolph Ziggler. He's the most
yeah, that's a
unappreciated talent
pop.
there is.
That was a
Yeah.
pop.
It was awesome. I've
Yeah.
always said this. Ziggler to
Oh,
me is like a perfect crossbreed of HBK and Mr. Perfect. And that dude, he's got charisma to boot. I just feel like they dropped the ball on Ziggs, and I know he's not getting any younger. And I didn't need him to win the tournament, but it would have been nice to see him advance around. Um,
yeah. Oh,
same thing
yeah.
with Zack Ryder. That was a cool like that. They did a good job bringing some of these guys back. I liked it, but it would have been nice to see him at least advance one because like Zach, I don't know. They could possibly sign him to NXT or something, or maybe even give him a roster spot back. And I'm totally whatever either way on that. I like what I've been seeing him doing on the indie circuit. I wouldn't mind seeing him get another shot. Maybe not as Zack Ryder, but as Matt Cardona. But Dolph coming back, man. I know he's with TNA, and I know that I've heard him interviewed. I think on what's his name, Chris Van Vliet or Valet. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he does pretty good interviews. Um, and he was basically saying, he wants some of these up and coming TNA guys to take most of the WWE spotlight. He's been there. He doesn't really want to do it. If the opportunity was right, he'd do it, which clearly this was, and it was a one-off, which I think Dolph probably was as on board for as anybody in creative. But it was good seeing Dolph, man. I am such a Dolph fan. I think he's phenomenal. It was great to see him get that pop. I both of the I guess cameo tournament entries were pretty cool to me.
Yeah. I am 100% in agreement with that. I would have loved even to go to like the next round, even
Yeah,
just one more round or whatever,
mm,
mainly because I want more Dolph in my life.
I agree, dude.
Um,
I agree.
Zach, like, no, I will give it like Zack Ryder is amazing on the indie circuit, and you can
Mm,
tell it's like, yeah, he had that. You just didn't let him do it while he was here, kind of thing.
yeah,
Um, he's obviously proven that he can be like an actual champion, and he has like mad skills in there. They just never gave him the opportunity because he
right.
didn't have the right look, and which
He got
super
like
sucks.
typecasted into
But
that Long Island
yeah,
bro.
yeah, exactly. So that super sucks. Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, is one of the greatest talents that has ever hit WWE. And you can call me on that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying he's a Mount Rushmore, but he is one of the
Preach,
greatest talents that has ever stepped into those hollowed ropes.
preach,
I
brother
mean,
Mike, preach.
I have never, and I mean never, seen anybody sell as well as Dolph does. And I don't mean overselling because, he does oversell, but
He does,
overselling,
but so did HBK.
but
Like,
right,
but also
right.
like it makes people look good, which is I don't know. I'm
Yes.
I'm okay. I'm
It's
okay with it.
it's it's not like that, all of those things that I don't like about luchadors, right? And everything like that,
Yeah.
the overselling, the spot monkey, all of that stuff. It's He doesn't do it
It's
that way.
calculated.
He
It's calculated.
Yes, it's calculated overselling to put the other guy over and to make himself look good in the same process in like a way that only seriously on one hand, like him, HBK, The Rock, like only
Yeah.
these caliber of people can do and make
No
it
lies
make
detected.
sense. And I'm just like, we when I heard his music, I lost my shit. I just did.
So did I,
I
dude.
was
So
so
did I.
happy, dude. I was so happy. But I I'm so sad that we're not going to get more of it because
I
there's
know.
so much that he could teach and pass on and just
Yeah.
kind of like teach the younger generation. Give him five again. This goes back to my own hangups with the style and everything like that. Give him freaking 10 minutes with Braun Breaker just in the back to go over stuff, just to teach him how to
Absolutely.
sell a little bit,
Absolutely.
just a
Yes.
little bit. I like, fine, you're supposed to be an unstoppable monster. I super get that. That's fine. Sell a little bit in there and still make it make sense so you can still be an unstoppable monster. Selling doesn't mean you're weak, dude. And I mean, I don't know if just they don't have a good coach for it or whatever. Hey, Dolph, if you hear this, maybe that could be a future because my man, I know you've probably heard this, and I don't know if this is what you want to be known for, but my God, sir, you have a fucking gift. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
damn,
Yeah. No, and you're right.
it's just
Braun
one of the,
Breaker is the future, but he's still very green, all things considered. And he could
mhm,
absolutely benefit from somebody like Dolph. 100%.
yeah. And I know you have HBK in the back and, NXT and showing his guys what's up and stuff like that. But I mean, like, it can never hurt to have someone else in there like Dolph to show you the small things,
Oh, hell no,
because
man. The more the better.
those little details are that's what makes the match, It's the little
Yep.
things.
I
So,
agree.
yes, all that to be said, really sad that he's not moving on. Again, we all know I'm not a fan of Solo, so I really don't want Solo to go. Um, I would say
To me, Solo's.
I would
y-
say
Go ahead, go ahead.
I would say it would be Gunther, but Gunther doesn't need it because with Cena being the champion, and if he only has 2 matches left, I don't know how many matches he actually has left, but he has Survivor. Um, so he has his matches Survivor Series, right, for the
Hmm.
IC title, and then he has the match on the 13th as main event. So I think those are his last 2 matches.
I think he's
So
got
my
two
my
left.
bad.
I think that's correct.
My mistake. I assume I was falsely saying earlier that he was in the War Games match. That was my bad.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
apologize.
He's facing
I
Dirty
was
Dom.
incorrect. He's facing Dirty Dom. And as much as I want Dirty Dom to be the champion again, because my heart is so saddened that he doesn't have both belts right now, I I was happy to see Cena get the Grand Slam. I was not happy that he had to do it at the expense of Dom. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't want him to get
But
it.
my
I like this farewell tour has just been like let's put a bow on these accomplishments. Let's let's get him
Yeah,
17 time. Let's get him that IC champ to make him Grand Slam. I didn't need either of those because
he
in
didn't
my
need the
opinion,
Grand Slam.
no, to me John Cena was already retired. Like the whole thing overall to me is a little bit lame. I'm not gonna lie, but it's working a lot better than I thought. And now let me tell you what I want to see happen. So it's already basically set in stone that Dom is getting three of Cena's last four matches. Yeah, he had the IC match that he lost. He had that
Yeah,
match on Raw, and he's going to
yeah,
have the match at Survivor Series. That's three of the last
yeah.
four. You know what I'm saying? Like, so here's
I,
my thing though. This is what I want to see happen. This is how John would book it. You ready? Here we go. So I think that Survivor Series, Dom loses. He loses that match. But you have Dom win the tournament. Now, it might be a lot to have his like Cena's last four matches all against Dom. If you don't like that, I get it. But also, this is we're just kind of running it dry at this point. There's not much left for Cena to do. The last match for Cena, it's not about like Dom getting the last four matches, which he would essentially get if he won that tournament. But you're like the whole point of this should be that Cena's leaving. Let's create a superstar out of it. Now, Dom's over as a heel. He's definitely over, but he is very much so a mid Carter right now. If Dom has Cena's last four matches of his career and wins the last match to reclaim his IC championship, you just created a fucking superstar. And I don't think it could be any better. Like that's the best case scenario to me. I don't think Gunther should be anywhere. Like you could have him in the finals against Dom. Let Dom do some Eddie lie, cheat, and steal shit. Win this match. Go to face Cena. Then you've actually built more. Like it's not just a thrown together. Oh, random draw tournament. Who's gonna? It could be anybody. It's gonna be a pointless match. But you've already built a story with Dom. You built a rivalry with Dom. Let's ride this till the end because that's going to be more meaningful than anything else you do. So yeah, you might not like on paper that Dom gets the last 4 matches, but this is the best thing that they could do because again, you're creating a superstar, you're creating a real story, and you're not going to forget this. Like if you have Cena face Sheamus or Gunther, it's going to be dumb to me. Sheamus, like, don't get me wrong, I like Sheamus. He's had a good career overall, but Sheamus isn't really like the best main event guy. He doesn't need to beat Cena. He's already beat Cena before, I believe, for a title. It's done. The Sheamus ship has sailed. Gunther just retired Goldberg months ago. He doesn't need to retire Cena. He's established. He's a multi-time champion. Dom is on the verge of breaking out. Again, he's over as a heel. You do this, you made a superstar. Let's book it.
I'm with you 1,000%, my friend. In fact, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, okay, well, he's having an IC title match, right? This is literally the
Hmm.
conscious stream of consciousness running through my head when this was happening. He's going in as soon as they started saying that he's never won the IC belt and had been a Grand Slam champion. I'm like, damn it, because I knew he was
Yeah,
going to win. But at that moment, in that shining moment, knowing that his last time is coming up, he's now IC champion. That means he's not losing the belt until like whoever he loses the belt or whoever he goes in, because Zena's, let's be honest, he's probably going to go and lose his last match, right? He's going to
he
go out
should.
looking at the
He
light.
should.
He should. Um, when he does, that last match is going to be for the IC title, which means whoever is going up against John Cena is going to be the IC champion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's a mid card title, like you said. That's a
Hmm.
workhorse title. It's not going to be somebody huge. So you're going to eliminate the Sheamuses. You're going to eliminate the Gunthers. They don't need it, like you said. But
Yeah.
the second that he won, I was like, is Dom going to be in the tournament? Is he going to be a surprise entry into the tournament, and that's how he's getting his IC title back? Is
Dude,
that is that what's going to happen? And I'm so happy that that was your course also.
yeah,
We
it's
did
all
not
I've been
plan
thinking
this,
about.
everyone. We did
No,
not
no,
plan this. This is literally the first time that we have spoken about this, either like in person, quote unquote, on text or anything like that. We have not discussed this at all
nope.
for what, a month
The
or
last
so?
time we did the pod, yeah.
Yeah, so like we literally like we have not talked about this, everybody. We literally have just come up to these conclusions separately on our own. I love that we're on the same wavelength, John. I love this.
I do too. I
Yeah.
do too.
So that's in my heart of hearts what I want to happen because I am such a fan of Dominic Mysterio right now that having his last four matches, um, as well as beating him to regain his IC title, um, and however he does it, whether he does it in his normal Dom, I'm gonna find a way to win, or he does it clean because we've seen him win both ways, right?
Yeah,
Like, however he does it, I feel like it cements him. I really do. And I honestly like when we talk about like Braun Breaker being the future and stuff like that, you legitimately look at Dominic Mysterio, and I can't believe I'm saying this because if you would have asked me, the 4 years ago or whatever, 5 years ago when he first started, that when his multicolored jumpsuit teaming with his dad and stuff, that that kid was going to be the future of the WWE, I would have laughed at you.
yeah,
Right now, Dominic Mysterio is the goddamn future of the WWE. Like he
yeah.
is
I agree.
absolutely amazing.
I
And
agree, dude.
he has the ability to, if they want to swap him face, he can. I feel like he could pull that off. I feel like it's literally like almost like looking at the charisma level of an Eddie Guerrero,
I agree.
you
And
know?
it's the same thing with Eddie. Eddie was a heel, but he was so over that eventually they had to turn him face. And I could see that happening with Dom. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Nothing. This heel run with Dom has been nothing short of phenomenal. It's been great. And
yeah,
I've been saying it like I might have said it on the podcast, but me and my brother talk a lot of wrestling. I was telling him like way back, like Dom's not going to get over unless he turns on Ray. And then now the second part I was wrong about, but I said he's got to turn on Ray, and then he should go to NXT, clean up those titles, then come back up to the main roster. But him turning on Ray is going to get him a lot of good heat, and that's going to catapult him. And it did. And then again, I was talking to my brother about the leading up to this. I shout out to my brother who I don't even think listens to the pod, but I'm going to get
Shout
him.
out
I'm
to
going to
John's brother.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, make
Chris,
him, make
Chris,
him.
shout out Chris because we talk a lot about
Shout
this
out
stuff too.
Chris.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on the pod one of these days. He's a big wrestling fan
Yes,
too. But him and I were talking about it, and we both were on the same page about how we wanted Dom to get in this tournament and go over. And I remember like when he lost when he came out. This was before he came out and lost the title to Cena a few weeks ago. He came out and he lost it, and I was like, "Shit, is that going to be it?" And Chris is like, "No, this is just the start." So again, shout out Chris. I know this is super random, but like, I think he's right. Like, I think this is cooking to perfection. I think this is going really well, and I want to see this come to fruition. I really don't think there's a better way to go. Worst case scenario, he faces anybody who's not Dom, and Cena goes over for his last match and then drops the title. That is the worst way you could book this. This is a great opportunity for an up and comer. If it's not Dom, which again, it 100% should be Dom, but if it's not, it needs to be new blood. It cannot be a former world champion. I don't want
yeah,
to see that. It's not going to do anything, whether Cena wins or loses. Um, you have to have a new guy, a newer guy. You have to have somebody who hasn't been a world champion, and you have to put him over. And again, there's nobody better to do that for than Dom because Dom is a mid Carter and Dom is over as a heel. Like it checks all the boxes. And plus, like Cena's got a tremendous amount of respect for Ray. They've had like
yeah.
Ray's been present for all of John Cena's career. He again, tons of respect for him. He's not just doing this for Dom, he's doing a favor to Ray too, but this would be huge for Dom. And Dom was great with this too. Like for still being pretty much a Nepo hire, fairly new guy, Dom handled that situation with Cena so well. Like he really did. Like he looked like he was ready for this moment. I'm saying, go full tilt on it. Go all the way with it. Follow through. Last four matches, give them all to Dom. Create this rivalry, create this character, and create this superstar.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so hold on. I'm gonna ask a question. Devil's
Yep.
advocate time.
Okay.
Uh, LA Knight.
So I
What are your
I
thoughts on
like
that?
I like LA Knight, and if they absolutely didn't go Dom, which again, if they don't go Dom, I'm firmly saying that's a mistake. All right, let me just reaffirm that stance. Okay, but this fantasy world, Devil's Advocate, they don't go Dom. I'm okay with LA Knight. LA Knight is a a great personality, a good wrestler. He's been in the business a long time. He's not a young buck anymore. This would be the time to make LA Knight too. So I wouldn't, if you're not doing Dom, which you're wrong, but if you're not doing Dom, I think LA Knight is the next best scenario for that. Um, LA Knight's great. I really want him to go heel again. I'm not saying you do that if that's the route you went, but it also with Cena being super face, it wouldn't be the worst time to maybe turn LA Knight back to heel, give him that win. He takes the IC title, which is fine, but also he's got a huge notch under his belt. Like I said, any up and comer who takes out Cena, like you just attached rockets to the dude. Like he
Yeah,
like if he botches that, it's on him, you know?
no, 100%. My feelings are if you gave it to LA Knight, I think that at that point you're kind of admitting that that's as good as it's going to get for him. I don't think that LA Knight's going to go any higher. Like he's not going to get a world title if you give him the win over John Cena and that IC belt. And I don't
Ah,
want that. I want LA Knight to be a world champion sometime. I want John or Dom to be an LA or to be a world champion some
yeah.
point. I want both of them to be, the face of the company. But I feel like with where LA Knight is at and with his age and everything like that, that like if you're not going to give it to him now, because you've had him in multiple situations, right?
Yeah,
And then it like we had it's not panned out. It's not panned out for him. So I'm just like, well, is he always gonna like circle the edge of the drain kind of
yeah.
thing? So I'm like, I feel like if you give this to him, that's kind of like, well, here you go.
A little
This is as
consolation
good as it
prize.
gets, guy. Yeah, which super sucks. So I don't want that. So I'm saying flat out, as a fan of LA Knight, I don't want LA Knight to win or to be in that position. I want it to be Dom, 100%.
Yeah. No, again,
Um,
100% it should be Dom. But I don't think you have to settle with just letting him beat Cena if it is LA Knight. I think you could still catapult him. But I will say,
yeah,
LA Knight's character as a face has run its course. Like it's just stale to me. As much as I like him, it's very stale right now. Very similar to Rhea, in my opinion. Um,
yeah,
it's just not
yeah.
going anywhere anymore. Like you need a shift. Um, and aside from a total character shift, which I'm not even sure you could do with either of those people right now, it's as simple as turning them back heel, and it'll be okay. It'll be fresh. It's been a while since either of them have been heel, years really, and I think you could run with it.
Because Rhea hasn't been healed since her injury, like,
No, no, she has since
since her
yeah,
injury in the in Judgment Day. So, like,
yeah,
that, yeah, we haven't seen heel Rhea for literally years.
and even
Um,
then, like she was sort of starting to like toe the line between face and heel. Even then,
yeah, it was a lot more anti-hero-ish
yeah,
than just straight up heel. But I mean, like, it worked out because it was with Dom and it was with the Judgment Day, so you
yep,
knew it was a heel faction. You and Dom was doing the majority of the heavy lifting as far as the heel stuff goes, I feel, in my opinion. Um, in that regard. So he kept it fresh. They kept it going. The chemistry was good.
yeah,
Everything was
yeah,
fine. But yeah, I agree. Like since her turn, it's kind of run its course.
yep,
Like when you look at Rhea Ripley, in my opinion, when you look at Rhea Ripley, she's another person that was built to be a heel. She is big, she is strong, she is
scary,
really good in the ring.
yeah,
And her charisma and everything just gives that air of arrogance of like, I know who I am and what I can do, and you're standing in my way. So move or I will make you move, kind
yes,
of vibe, right?
yeah,
And if you just have her heel, she's perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's when you turn her face, now you're trying to take all of that makes her intimidating and traditionally what would be a, really good bad guy, and you're trying to make it a good guy, which is really hard, other than what she's doing now is like, oh yeah, step in and protect the smaller person in EO Sky, which is what she's been doing, kind of thing.
yep,
So
yep. Yeah, it's weird. It's they're throwing to get it together in true Survivor Series fashion. But
yeah,
so last thing because I'm gonna have to cut out here shortly, but I wanted to get your opinion on one more thing, and it's a segue. It's a little bit of a sloppy segue, but it's Divas related and LA Knight's sister related.
God,
What did you think of Maxine Dupree winning that IC title from Becky?
he's gotten a lot better. I will say that.
She has, I agree.
Um, I know your thoughts on Becky. Um, I agree somewhat. I feel like she's overplayed right now, but I'm never gonna discount Becky's skills, right? Like
Yeah,
she
no,
is
of
still
course
one of the
I
four
don't either.
horsewomen. Like she's a
Yeah,
she's a standard bearer for what the new generation is.
I don't deny
Um,
that at all. Yeah.
that being said, I was happy to see someone else get the belt, and I feel like the that Becky did her job. Like she won the title to
Mm-hmm.
give it some prestige
Yeah.
and give some, polish it up a little bit before passing it off and meaning something. Who they passed it off to, I don't know if she was ready, honestly. She looks a lot better in the ring. Maxine does. Um, I don't know if she'll be able to carry it on the mic and what the rest of you know, everything else that goes into it. If she can keep having those kinds of matches and stuff. It was a little bit of a sloppy match. There was some telegraphing that happened.
For sure.
It wasn't just the cleanest, but it was what it was. Um, as far as her winning the actual, like being the IC title champ, that's in the air for me.
I agree.
But but again, it's a workhorse title, right? Like they gave the women a world title, a tag title, and the mid card title. They finally have that for them. So
Yeah. No, I
maybe it's one of those where it's like, hey, we give it to her. She's really trying. She's showing her chops. Let's put it on her and see what happens. See how she carries herself. See if she rises to that challenge. Because I know they've done that in the past with those kinds of titles. That's how they used to do it with the European title
yep.
way back in the day, right? Like it
Oh
used to
yeah.
be the precursor to the IC belt, just to kind
Yeah.
of give it to you to see how you would react, how you would do, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
I
maybe it's that situation. I'm not mad at it. I'm interested to see where it goes. And then on this case, it's going to give another facet to Becky's, you know, character because now she gets to be the person chasing the belt rather than, just having it and claiming she's the best ever and all that fun stuff that she's doing right now. So overall, I'm okay with it. I'm I don't know if I would have chosen Maxine the person for it to go to, but I'm not necessarily mad at it, I guess.
So you first of all, you took a lot of the points I was going to make. So again, we're on the same page about a lot of this stuff. I'd say just to add, um, I liked it. I liked it a lot. If this was the top title for the women or one of the top titles, I would have disagreed with it. But because it is their mid card title, I was perfectly fine with them giving Maxine the belt because she has improved a lot. She's clearly been putting in the work. She's been there for a while. And I think that giving her the mid card title will be a great test for her to see what she does with it, see how she runs with it. Becky, again, I agree with you totally. She gave this title some prestige. Now it's up to Maxine, a true, mid to, lower mid card personality to see if she can elevate herself now with where that title is. So perfectly okay with it. I don't know if Becky's going to be pursuing it now. I think that this is a good segue for Becky to break off of it and maybe do something with AJ now. You kind of set up, because what I had read, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, is that when AJ came back, she had signed a multi-year deal. So even though it
That's
seemed
what I
like,
heard.
yeah, so even though it seemed like Becky was going to be a, or I'm sorry, it seemed like AJ was kind of like a one-off thing. I don't think it is. I think AJ is going to be there. So this is a great way to get AJ back in. Again, Becky is a seasoned vet. She's been present. And again, I'm not the biggest Becky fan. I think her character is stale, but she is good. Like this is a great opportunity for AJ to come back into the fold, get a good storyline out of it, a good way for Becky to break off of that title, and a good opportunity for Maxine to see if she could spread her wings and fly a little bit and maybe elevate herself to the next level.
Super agree, 100%. And I mean, AJ even kind of alluded to that, right? Like she
Hmm.
like in her interview, she was like, "Yeah, Becky brings out this side of me." So I'm like, "Yeah, I think that's where that next rivalry is going to go before AJ ultimately tries for the women's title, like the world title. I feel like that's going to happen. Um, I don't know if she's going to be the champion, but I know she's going to go for it, kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, women's title, real quick before you do have to go.
Okay.
Nikki Bella,
Look,
thoughts,
so Nikki Bella, like, here's the thing about the Bellas. I've never liked the Bellas at all. Now,
preach.
yeah, now Nikki, like, her biggest asset is really just that she's hot. Like, she's still in great
Yeah,
shape, after, being a little bit older and having a kid. She looks phenomenal. Like, she's a smoke show. I'll give her props there. Her character has never been anything I've been remotely interested in. Her in-ring skill has never been that good. I did not need this return whatsoever. Now, I do think it was a smart. Again, like if you have to bring her back, or if you're set on bringing her back, it clearly was not working out as her as a face. So I do think creatively it was the best decision to turn her heel. And even Stephanie, like she's good in the ring. I understand them trying to push her, but oh my gosh, she has no character development at all. I'm not impressed at that whatsoever. So this is going to be a bad feud because you got two people with lame characters. Um, like I just don't see this feud going anywhere. I think the idea is right. You got two people who kind of need something right now, despite Stephanie being the champ. I mean, obviously Nikki, I mean, she shouldn't win that match. Like, I think the idea is, okay, they're both kind of floundering right now. Let's put them together, then we'll have a heel turn, and then we'll see what happens. And I don't think anything's gonna happen, but I think the idea is that, oh, well, we'll put Stephanie over a Hall of Famer now, and that'll be really good for her. Nothing's gonna be good for her until she figures out a good character. And I feel like
Yeah,
you're always at a disadvantage if you're coming in and you don't speak, you speak broken English. And that's not me talking as like an American nationalist. It's just hard to be more entertained by it. I think that, I think most people, whether they want to admit it or not, aren't as interested in people who don't have a lot of mic skills. And it's hard to get mic skills if you don't speak the language very well. Um,
yeah.
it really is. So I think that they have to figure something out with her character fast because you strapped a rocket on Stephanie, you gave her the world title, and there has been nothing interesting about it whatsoever. And this Nikki stuff isn't helping anything, but at least it's a story, I guess. But no, overall, aside from Nikki being absolutely gorgeous still, I do not need to see her. Like, this is 2025. This isn't 1997. I don't need to see a hot chick on my TV to be, amused or entertained.
I don't either. And for me, she's Nikki Bella is the epitome of diva, in my
She
opinion.
is. She is.
She is a divas champion. She is in the divas division. She is the poster girl for or the poster child for give divas a chance. She is
Yeah.
not women's wrestling.
And you know what? They
There's a
always
very
say
stark difference between the divas division and the women's division. And I'm
100%.
sorry, like it might set, but we're in the women's division now.
I agree.
We've given them multiple titles. We've put them on par with the men, and they've earned that position. And while that transition may have been helped by the Bellas a little bit or whatever, seriously like discounting AJ Lee because AJ left on uncouth terms or whatever. But cool, we're gonna say that's because of the Bellas, fine, whatever. But still, that's the give divas a chance era. That's not the women's division.
Yeah, they were.
In my opinion, you can't. Stephanie is a women's champion. Sh-
Yeah,
Nikki
yeah.
can't keep up. She can't keep up in the ring. And
No chance.
honestly,
In her prime,
she
she couldn't.
no, she couldn't. And she can't keep up on the mic either. Like mic skills are a huge part of it. And Nikki
She's
has
never had
never
them
had
either.
good
Yeah.
mic skill.
Nope.
Never had them. And I mean, realistically, out of the Bellas, Brie was the better wrestler. Let's all be honest here. Like
And
Brie
that's
was
not
a
saying
better,
much either, because Brie wasn't that good either. But you're right.
she wasn't that good. Yeah, but she was leaps and bounds better than her sister
No,
ever
the
was.
the reason Nikki got over more, and I hate to say it, and I might get some flack for it, but she got the breast
Oh,
augmentations, and that made her the more interesting Bella because of that, because there wasn't anything else to go on. Like, they're not good in the ring, they're not good on the mic. Yeah, Brie was a little bit better, but not much. And nothing annoys me more than like how they keep wanting to hammer in our head that, oh, the Bellas were a big part of the bridge from the Divas to the women. Bullshit. No, they weren't. It was the NXT chicks who came up. Charlotte, Becky, Bailey, like
Paige.
Paige, sure, absolutely. These are the ones who took over. Like, no more divas. Now it's going to be women's. A hundred
Yeah,
percent. I don't think the Bellas. I think the Bellas happened to be around during the transitioning period, but I agree with you. Like, they are 100% divas, and there is a
yeah.
difference.
There's an absolute difference. Like you give me any match that from the Bellas, and then you put it up against any of the four horsewomen
Yeah,
in their matches,
literally,
and tell
literally.
me there's not a difference.
No, you could give me the worst match of any of the horsewomen and the best match from either Bella, And I would bet money that, and again, it's subjective, sure, but I think that for my money, it's going to be better with the four horsewomen, like every time.
Yeah. There's a reason that the first women's headlining match in WrestleMania history went to Becky and didn't go to Nikki. Like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
reason that happened, you know?
yeah. Even in
Like
Vince McMahon's madness, he knew that that would not work.
yeah. So I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the Bellas period, but I'm also again not a fan of part-timers and Hall of Famers coming back for the sake of coming back because I don't know if they need money or whatever, but
Yeah,
neither here nor there, them just coming back. But then also coming back and then being thrown instantly into the title picture because they're a Hall of Famer.
yeah.
Like you're one, it's not your show anymore. Two, you can't do this. You can't hang. She literally can't hang in the ring with Stephanie
No.
or with any of the women in the division now. I mean, like maybe she would be able to go in there against Nia or
Yeah,
something, but
maybe
even then,
Maxine, and
Nia's
again,
yeah,
Maxine's improved, but like that's more her speed. Maxine, like
yeah,
even though
exactly.
I've given her praise and I want to see good things of her, Maxine really fits the diva mold more than the women's.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want her to get better. I'm interested
I
to
do
see
too. I
where
do
it
too.
goes and
I'm
stuff
rooting
like
for her.
that.
I'm rooting for her.
But that's the level that we're looking at right now.
Yeah,
And I called out Nia not necessarily because Nia's bad in the ring, but she just has a slower pace
she
of
does.
wrestling that,
Yes,
at least Nikki would be able to keep up with. Like you really telling me she's gonna go against Stephanie Vakir or like Julia or Asuka, let
nope,
alone Charlotte or Becky or Bailey or freaking
nah,
anybody else. Like
no
it's just
chance.
not no chance at all. Can you imagine like Bianca Belair against Nikki Bella? Like, come on,
Dude, it would
you
just be
know,
a
it
waste of time.
it would be a waste of everybody's time. So I'm glad to hear that we're on the same page of this.
I am too, buddy. I am too.
All right. I know that we gotta cut this short. I know we ran long today, and I apologize.
Hey, you know what? It
Well,
happens, man. Once we start gabbing about the wrestling, it's gonna happen. I knew I
it
could,
happens.
a little behind the scenes, folks. Like I told Mike, that I couldn't stay that long because I'm working and I'm on my lunch, dude. But I knew there was a chance. Like once we started talking, like it was gonna go, and that's fine. Honestly, no regrets.
That's how we live our life. All right. All right, everyone. Well, tune in. We will be having recap shows and stuff like that coming up. I know oh shit, it's next week. Next week is going to be Thanksgiving for us, so it might be a little dicey, but we'll figure it out. We'll be back on the air soon. Until then, I am your host, Michael,
And I'm John.
our other host, and don't stop believing, guys.